everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sydney and today I will be doing part 2 of the Antarctica Q&A. I actually just filmed the part 1, I just didn't want it to be too long, so here I am with part 2 and I'm going to be answering so many questions related to Antarctica and the ship and all those kinds of things, so I think we should get started with this video. For the part 2 of this Antarctica Q&A, before I start, I do want to say I also did this with Adventures by Disney, and it was on the Ponant Le Boreal ship, so that's just a little background. Anyways, so the first question is, if you could change one thing about the cruise, what would it be? And I'd like to first off say that I had no regrets of anything I did on the cruise. I had the best time. I would not change a thing, but if I had to, and if I were to go again, I would stay up till midnight to see the sunrise and sunset because it's pretty much bright all night long. So I feel like that'd be really cool to see because I've never seen that, and you can only see the sun being up basically 24/7 in so many places. So I would really love to stay up till midnight for that. But also I do value my sleep, and I'd always be in bed by no later than 11. Usually I'm in bed by 10, but on the cruise it was usually 11, and then I'd wake up at 7 a.m. sometimes sooner than that every day. So I don't know how midnight would have worked, but if I were to go again, I would definitely do that. And I do really wish I did that because a lot of people, 2 different people, told me that they stayed up till midnight on different days, and there were apparently a bunch of whales following the ship on both sides, which would have been so cool to see, so I missed out on that, but it's okay. Maybe next time, who knows? What is one thing that you would like to tell people before they go to Antarctica? Okay, so I would say don't spend too much time in your cabin unless you're feeling seasick. Go out, explore the ship. There's so much to do. I'm actually going to film a video of the full itinerary so you can see all the activities and stuff, but just go socialize with other people. I mean, ours was with Adventures by Disney, so there were people from all over the US, but other cruises might have people from all over the world. Go meet people. It's fun. Go play games with people. Go do things, make memories. Don't sit in your cabin all day. That's boring. I mean, if you're seasick, then yes, that makes sense. But if you're feeling completely fine, don't isolate yourself. Go out, meet new people, do that kind of thing. That's what I would recommend. That's what I did. I was always out and about, and I think that was the most amazing thing. Of course, I did rest in the cabin a few times, but for the most part, I was always out and about, and I would definitely recommend everyone to do that. So the next question kind of relates to COVID, because this person asks, what was it like visiting Antarctica with COVID, and was it worth it? So we went in December of 2021, and yes, we went with COVID, and I loved it. I think I mentioned that a few times. With COVID, it was a little bit different though, because there was a lot of things that kind of went on with this. So we'd obviously be tested for COVID before getting on the ship, before the flights, all that stuff, so everyone was clear and stuff, right? But apparently not, because some people did test positive while on the ship towards the end. I think on Christmas or the day after Christmas, someone tested positive, so they ended up quarantining their family and then 2 other families that were close contacts. I was so worried. I was I don't want to get it, but then they ended up releasing them I think 4 days later, before the end of the cruise, maybe even 3 days later. So I think it was a false positive. I don't really know. They didn't really tell us too much information. They just told us that someone did test positive, but then we ended up, and they didn't tell us who, but we knew one of the close contacts who was quarantined, and he was out as well as the other one apparently. So I mean, I don't really know, but that's just kind of what happened. And also, we did have to wear masks inside, but we did not have to wear them outside. It was up to you if you wanted to. They encouraged social distancing, but I don't think many people really followed it or anything, because it's you're stuck on a small ship with a bunch of people. Do the best you can do. It's really up to you. Just don't get COVID, basically. For me, I didn't wear my mask outside because you didn't have to, but at the same time, I did. It depended because it's so cold there. I wore my mask as a face warmer sometimes, like especially when we were on the Zodiac boats. We also had like face like scarves. I don't really know what it's called, but it's like meant to keep your face warm. We just keep our mask on too because it's like it kept our face warm. So I did not mind that at all. I don't think that, like, obviously I'd rather go when COVID's not an issue, because it is a little bit stressful when you have to worry about, oh my gosh, am I gonna be stuck in Antarctica with COVID? Like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna be trapped in my room for the rest of the time? Like, you don't want to spend all that money and be trapped in your room. Like, so that was something that, like, I think everyone worried about. But thankfully, it was only one person who tested positive, but then they were out, so I think it was false positive. But also, there were definitely people before going to Argentina that tested positive, so they couldn't get there. Some people on the Escape with Adventures by Disney in Argentina ended up testing positive for COVID. So they also tested us for COVID the day before we flew down to Ushuaia. And then the day after that, I think, or something like that. Like the day before we flew down to Ushuaia and the morning of. I don't know, something like that. But within those one day, one person did test positive. So they were quarantined in Ushuaia, but they ended up testing positive negative by the time the ship got back. So they got to join us in Ushuaia for shore excursions. But they basically missed the entire Antarctica cruise, which was really sad. But I think they actually ended up getting a refund and booking it on for the next year. So I hope they have a great time when they end up getting to go. But yeah, so the COVID stuff, I mean, yeah, it wasn't convenient. We did have to test, I think, like every other day while on the ship. And it was yeah. Went right up your nose and wasn't the most comfortable, but you know, got to do what you got to do, and in the end it was all worth it because we got to go to Antarctica. So even with COVID going on right now too, if the ships are, I don't know how they are with the procedures right now, like next year, but even if COVID's still going on, they still have these procedures, I would still go on the cruise. I think it was still completely worth it. So just because COVID's going on, don't cancel it just because of that. Like, I'd encourage you to go. I would also like to mention that on the Zodiac boat, there was definitely no social distancing, because you're on a Zodiac boat. They're not gonna bring twice as many out so that people can social distance on them. Okay, so the final question in this Q&A is, would you go back to Antarctica without Adventures by Disney? The answer is yes, but I would also love to go back with Adventures by Disney too. Like, either way, I'd be happy with it because the experience with Adventures by Disney was amazing, and I think that it obviously would have been different without them, but I think it still would have been good without them. So, I mean, if you want to go with Adventures by Disney, definitely go, but also, like, I feel like it would be so much fun without them too. Like, it'd be good either way. Okay, so I would also like to say that I really want to go to the Falkland Islands and maybe Chile and South Georgia at some point, but Adventures by Disney doesn't have that itinerary. So for that reason, I would maybe do it without them. I would also love to go on Ponant again because Ponant was amazing. I love that ship so much. It was such a great experience. I would go to Antarctica in any possible way that I could if I had the opportunity. I definitely think that it would be a good experience with or without Adventures by Disney. Anyways, you guys, I believe that is all the questions that I have. I'm going to be doing a part 3 video, which actually I filmed first, but it's going to be coming out last because I wanted to answer these questions first. So it might be a little confusing when you watch that one, but it's different questions and different answers, obviously. Stay tuned, subscribe so that you don't miss that one. And I still plan on making more Antarctica content for you guys, so obviously stay tuned for that too. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Also, if you have any more questions, feel free to comment them because I will keep on creating Q&As until there are no more questions. So anyways, you guys, definitely make sure to comment. But anyways, I will see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.